Very morning, students. This is me, your teacher Neha Kheradia, and today we are going to discuss about one poem. The name of this poem is Vocation, Class 6, Honeysuckle book. Okay. This poem shows the importance of every job. And this poem is written by Ravindranath Tagore and displays a child's wishes. It speaks about how a child is unaware of the harshness connected to daily life and gets attracted to various things in life. Let me explain this poem stanza wise. Now, let me read stanza number 1 for you. Okay, stanza number 1. When the gong sounds 10 in the morning and I walk to school by our lane, every day I meet the hawker crying, "Bangles, crystal bangles." Okay, gong means an object made of metal which gives sound when struck. Second, a jewel which looks clear and transparent. Okay, vendor, a street salesman, everyone knows. Okay, let me explain this stanza. Here in this stanza, the child said that when the gong struck and made a sound to declare the first part of the day, it was 10 o'clock. He said that this was also the time for him to go to school. On his way to school, he used to watch a salesman who would shout, "Bangles, crystal bangles," to sell his bangles. Let me read stanza number 2. There is nothing to hurry him on. There is no road he must take, no place he must go to, no time when he must come home. Okay, let me explain this stanza. While looking at him, the child had a thought that the vendor was free. He was in no hurry to reach anywhere, unlike the child who had to reach his school on time and come back home. He thought that the bangle seller was free to move at any place. He felt as if he was under strict observation, and the vendor was enjoying complete freedom. So he was so impressed by his freedom that he wished to be a hawker. He wished to move freely and shout just like him in the streets. Next stanza, let me read for you. When at 4 in the afternoon I come back from the school, I can see through the gate of the house the gardener digging the ground. New words, digging. Digging means break up the soil with hands or tools. Okay. Next, now let me explain this stanza. Here, the child, after coming back from school at 4 in the afternoon, he noticed the gardener through the gate of the house. He would peep. So, he noticed him digging soil. Clear? Next stanza, let me read for you. He does what he likes with his spade. He soils his clothes with dust. Nobody takes it baked in the sun or gets wet. Okay. Now, let me explain this. Okay. 2 more lines are there. I wish I were a gardener digging away at the garden with nobody to stop me from digging. Now, spade means a sharp-edged tool used for digging and cutting. Baked in the sun. Baked in the sun means heated because of excessive sunlight. Now, let me explain this. Here, the child was attracted by his freedom to be in the dust and do the things of his choice with his tools. He thought that the gardener had the freedom to dirty his clothes with soil, play with his tools, stay in the sun for longer hours, and get wet with sweat, do anything, and he was not getting any punishment for all these things. So completely unaware of the hardship of that workers, he was attracted to be a gardener, to do things of his choice, and no one around to stop him. Clear? Next stanza, just as it gets dark in the evening and my mother sends me to bed, I can see through my open window the watchman walking up and down. The lane is dark and lonely, and street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in its head. Now walking up and down means to come back and forth from one side to other side. Giant means like an imaginary superhuman. We are considering like this here. Okay, fine. Let me explain this stanza. At night, his mother would send him to sleep in his room, where there used to be an open window. From there he would notice a watchman walking here and there from one side to other in the dark, lonely street. He also had a lamp in his hand, which looked to him like a superhuman with red eye in its head. Next stanza, let me read. The watchman swings his lantern and walks with his shadow at his side and never once goes to bed in his life. Now, what meaning? Swings. Swings means to move from one side to another. Okay, let me explain this. He would move his lamp from one side to another. His shadow was also visible on his side while he walked. The child thought that the watchman would never slept at night all his life. Let me read last stanza. I wish I were a watchman walking the street all night, chasing the shadow with my lantern. Chasing means run after. Now, let me explain this. Here, in this last stanza, the child was so attracted to his moves that he wished to be a watchman who could walk all night in the street, running after his shadow with lantern in his hand. So, this one is the explanation of this poem, Vocation. I hope you understood everything. Okay? Bye-bye. Have a nice day, bacha. Bye-bye.